Mandaree Care Building with Don and Z-Human. Just wanted to welcome Z-Human back. He's been ill, he was in the hospital and looks pretty good. He's kind of lost some weight and he's kind of getting around now, but it's good to see him. So we haven't been able to make a video, so we're gonna continue on with our little videos. So today what we want to talk about is one way that we think that can help with people that have trauma or shoswaniku. One thing that we've come to realize is that when you get traumatized or when you have a shoswaniku, you're scared. It makes you scared of everything. Scared of not being enough, not being good enough, not having enough, of taking a risk, death, all kinds of scaredness. Not being accepted, approved, all that stuff we talk about, that's what it causes us to be scared of. And so when we get triggered, there's techniques and methodologies like mindfulness, self-compassion, CBT, DBT, grounding, etc. all relieve or deal with the present triggers in the present moment. But a lot of times what happens is like we'll get triggered and it'll go back to the past way and the deep hurts and the deep wounds. And so what we need to do is, in order to get from here, so we don't want to be scared anymore. What we want to do is we want to be sacred. And we need to deal with the past wounds or the deep hurts of the trauma by being sacred. We want to treat ourselves in a sacred way. Have you ever felt or been treated in a sacred way? Has anybody ever said, yeah, geez, you're really, I think the world of you and you're just awesome and all that? No, we don't treat ourselves like that, and we don't treat other people like that. And of course, we all know where that came from, right? But not to dwell on that, but so what if we treated ourselves in a sacred way? So, and what is sacred to the MHA people? So in our Sunday men's group, we were talking, Kelly and Marlon and myself were talking about all these things that can help people, but sometimes they don't work they're not working the way we want them to work. So we come up with this idea that, what we need to do? We need to treat ourselves sacred. Like what if we all treated ourselves like we were all medicine bundles, and we treated ourselves like that, and we treat ourselves sacred or reverend our own selves and others. Okay, that guy's his own bundle over there. I don't need to be jealous of him, because I have my own purpose, my own power, and have my own path that I need to follow on. And so there's no need for that. And I need to think about myself. Okay, what am I trying to do as a bundle? I wouldn't be jealous or resentful and then some of the things that to think about are, what would we want to put in our bundle? What are the values, the principles, the rules, the protocols, the parameters you would want in your bundle, so that you could treat yourself sacred, so that when things come up, you don't have to just get triggered and go right into that whole loop of the negativity, the distorted thoughts, the dysregulated emotions, the nervous system, the fight, flight, freeze, all that. You wouldn't go through all that whole loop. You could just go back right to that. I'm sacred. I'm going to treat myself sacred on my own sacred bundle, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to treat everybody else like that too. I'm going to have respect and reverence for everybody. I think that would be a game changer. It would be a world changer, actually, especially on our reservations. We struggle. We all struggle, and it was made to be like that. Let's face it. So if we started treating ourselves sacredly in a sacred manner, I think things will change for us. We'd get past that trauma. We'd be able to, not be living on the edge all the time. Waiting for the other shoe to drop. Always in fear and always anxiety and all those things that we talk about. So that's just my own, our group kind of come up with that idea. We thought it was good, and we're gonna try to, when we do this Shoswaniku program, we're gonna try to implement it too. Get people to understand all that stuff. You got any questions?
Well, I like what you got going there, Verdell. When you split that scared, because that's what we were taught. We were talking before you got on the video. Yeah. We've been scared to be scared of God.
Of our own ways.
Yep. Our own damn ways. We ain't supposed to hold a knife to the fire, all this stuff. That's what we've been taught. We've been taught all that. And we've been scared a whole damn life. Yeah. Now that why? Yeah. Why? Yeah. Now that, I like that. We are I always say this in our church, I'll say we are the church. Yeah. So right there, I like what you got there, sacred. You are the church. You are sacred.
You're the bundle.
You are the bundle.
Why do you want to desecrate your own bundle?
Right.
You know what I mean? And so because we've been taught that all our life. It's like you're not good enough. You're this and that, and you're bad. You're evil. Your people are this way. We've been so dehumanized, demeaned, degraded, all that. And so we got to start to think of ourselves let's stop living like this and start living like this.
You know, Verdell, that kind of right there that's a colonization.
Yeah.
To me, that's colonization.
Yeah, everybody knows that. I mean,
That's colonization. Or now what we're getting at, that's decolonization.
Did you notice that there's a big movement towards people are starting to really they're waking up. You know, you could just see it through social media and everything. People are coming back to this. They're like, man, and they're coming back to their ways. You know, so we got to come back and think about our bundles in the sense of like as an analogy, and it's not to be. I hope people don't think that I'm saying that to disrespect. I'm not. No, that's not what I'm saying. Is that we have to look at what worked for us in the past, all that kind of. But in a sense too, that I'm just using this as an analogy. Let's treat ourselves sacred. Let's start living sacredly and start, start changing our thinking, our feelings, our behaviors, our beliefs. All that stuff. Let's start changing it from this to this. So that's all I have. But I just want to share that coming into the new year. I want you guys to anybody out there listening, try it. Let's just try it for about a week. See what happens. See if your life changes, because it really changed for me. I know, and like Kelly says, he says therapy is all it is a change of perspective. So if you change that perspective of scared to sacred, you'll see it really does. It really is just a change of perspective.
Well, it changes all your values, your principles, your rules, your protocols. And I like that what you wrote on the bottom there.
What would you want in that for yourself and your kids, right?
Dang right.
And how that applies to your life and all that. But so that's all I got. But thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Ava says.